Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Hot, hazy, and stormy. Sounds like summer to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. It feels like it, too. And while the official start of summer is actually still a few weeks away, definitely with temperatures in the 80s already, it feels that way. So thanks for joining us this noon. I'm Rhonda Walker.
I'm Jason Colthorpe. Let's get right over to Ashley Barrissey, who's tracking all of that.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with ExactTrack 4D because that's what's going to be rolling in this afternoon, the rain that you see here on radar. And so already pushing through Lansing up towards Saginaw. It's a really slow moving front, so it's going to take some time to get here. But as we head into the later part of the afternoon, there is a chance that we could see some stronger storms develop. Right now, I mean, we even have lightning tracker on, and I've only been seeing a couple lightning strikes pop south of the state line with this line. And so it's been sub-severe throughout the early morning hours and even into this lunch hour. But as we take a closer look at what would be our smoke layer, and you already could see that haze with that live camera we just showed you, thick smoke layer still draping southeastern Michigan. And so that is reducing our air quality at this hour. Our air quality still moderate across southeastern Michigan, but you look up into northern Michigan, not just the UP up towards Sault Ste. Marie, but off towards Traverse City as well. And we're nearing more hazardous conditions because of all the smoke and pollutants in the atmosphere. But temperatures are another part of the headline today. It is going to be the warmest day of the week. We're already sitting at 83 degrees in Detroit, 82 in Ann Arbor, 80 in Pontiac. So for the rest of the afternoon, we'll be warming things up into the upper 80s. But after 2 o'clock, that's when it starts to get a little more turbulent. We'll walk you through the timeline of the storm potential in just a few minutes.
All right, Ashley, we're about 12 hours into the Trump administration's new tariffs on steel and aluminum.
It raises tariffs from 25% to 50%. Nick Monticelli explains the potential impact on the auto industry here in Metro Detroit and where Americans could soon see price increases.
Simply just a trickle-down effect of economics. If you have to pay more for a supply, then you have to charge more to offset that cost. The bottom line is that even Sterling Stamping here in Sterling Heights believes, and people in there say, there's going to be higher costs.
The president expects good deals, and we are on track for that.
The White House says it wants countries to submit their best offers for trade deals by today. That says the 90-day pause on so-called reciprocal tariffs is set to end July 9th. Some experts question whether the Trump administration can secure numerous trade agreements before then.
Well, the challenge here is, of course, that it is not easy to just quickly make a trade deal. Trade deals are not only about the tariffs on goods. It's also about non-tariff barriers. It's also services. It's also all kinds of other things.
Also today, President Trump is doubling tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. That brings those duties to 50%. Trump says encouraging domestic production of those metals as a matter of national security. A trade group called the Can Manufacturers Institute warns raising the tariffs on steel could raise prices at grocery stores. And the Detroit Big Three already looking at how much more that will cost them in vehicle production and how much more it will cost you.
Steel represents about 2,800 pounds of each car. It's over $1,000, almost $2,000 of cost for each car. And it's getting back to record prices because of these tariffs. So almost $1,000 for a ton of hot rolled steel. So it's going to push those prices higher.
So how long until you actually see more costs on the vehicle you might be looking to purchase? Experts say a couple of months, depending on the inventory. Again, different automakers have different inventory, but a couple of months for everybody. Maybe not Stellantis, but they'll probably be a little on the further end because of all their extra inventory. We're in Sterling Heights. Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
All right, Nick, thank you. On Capitol Hill, President Trump pushing senators to support his big, beautiful bill. Several lawmakers, though, are voicing their concerns over parts of the bill that will slash funding for some federal programs like the SNAP benefits and a change requirement for Medicaid. The bill would also increase the nation's debt ceiling. Republican lawmakers say that the goal is to lower federal spending to improve the nation's debt. President Trump wants the bill on his desk by the 4th of July. And today, Governor Whitmer is sending out a warning about the consequences that some of these federal cuts will have, especially to food assistance and to many Michiganders. The bill wants to cut $300 billion from SNAP. The governor says nearly 15% of the state relies on the benefits, and the loss of federal funding will cost Michigan $900 million. It comes at a time where prices for many items at the grocery store are up, and food banks are reporting higher levels of people needing help despite and because of it. Governor Whitmer says if the cuts would also hurt businesses accepting SNAP. Governor Whitmer wants lawmakers in D.C. to oppose the cuts.
This week, we unveiled exclusive new poll numbers showing where things stood in the Detroit mayoral race. Our WDIV Detroit News poll showing Mary Sheffield with the lead in potential votes, name ID, and favorability. That's not the only poll we've been working on. We're also looking at the city council race and what voters really think about President Trump and immigration reform. Take a look.
As we dive deeper into our WDIV Detroit News poll numbers, two clear names are out front in the race for the at-large seats on Detroit City Council. The two incumbents are polling well ahead of the field for the two spots. Mary Waters at 32% and Coleman Young II at 21%. Janae Ayers is lurking at 10%. On the national level, Detroiters disapproving of the job President Donald Trump is doing. Of the 84.5% that disapprove, 78% say they strongly disapprove. On immigration, another overwhelming number, 79% oppose the city of Detroit using resources and employees to support the feds and ICE in removing undocumented immigrants from the city.
And the reality is, voters are already paying federal taxes for this purpose. And what they oppose is using their city taxes for this purpose. And that's pretty clear. But one thing, we flip the question then, is Detroit a welcoming city or is it not a welcoming city? 87% say Detroit is a welcoming city. And it's only 6% who say it's not. I think that's a badge of honor for Detroiters to welcome people.
By the way, you can find all the results from that poll. It was very extensive. We have it at clickondetroit.com, and that includes the biggest challenges facing Detroit public schools and biggest issues facing the city.
A man from Westland is going to prison for attempting to support ISIS. Evidence from the trial revealed Awas Mohammed Nasser tried to provide support to ISIS in the form of personnel and services between the years of 2011 and 2017. He also tried to join ISIS abroad in 2012. When that didn't work, he shifted to domestic support, engaging in online propaganda and experimenting with explosives. He faces up to 20 years in prison for supporting a terrorist organization and up to 15 years for owning a destructive device.